All right, let's just jump in. All
right.
I don't think we can plan. You can't plan this. It's just got to come from the heart.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I need to kick it off with whatever insight.
Okay, so I was driving here. And like,
this is fresh.
Yes. Yeah. This is like minutes
right now.
Your commute from the long 30-minute commute.
But you know how like, so I saw a first gen Honda Insight.
Okay.
Kind of like little, super small with the like fender.
Yeah, the rear fender covers. Yeah,
which is such a cool car, sort of.
Yeah, it was like all I want to do is save gas, and I don't
Those
care
things
about
are
anything else.
They're probably getting close to 20 years old, right? When was that?
Yeah,
it's
like early 2000s.
Yeah.
And they're all sticks, which is kind of cool.
Oh, were they?
Yeah,
only stick.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like
maximum efficiency.
I want to say they were like 1,700 pounds or something. It was.
And I think they got like 60 miles to the gallon.
Yeah. That was the car that they did, like some magazine did like a challenge for like who can get the best miles per gallon in an Insight. Do you remember that?
Vaguely.
And like somebody like drove a box truck with like walls behind it or something, and the Insight was like inside of it. I'm pretty sure it was the Insight. They're like, we got 140 miles per gallon.
It sounds familiar.
Anyways,
so I saw a guy driving one, like just
out Black Friday
driving
shopping
on Black Friday, and then like I don't know if it's specifically because of that car, but you know how like when you're trying to save gas, like you don't want to use like the brakes or the accelerator.
Just coasting,
Sure.
So we're on Herndon, which is where the speed limit's like 50, but most people drive like 55, 60. So like we're coming up to a light, and he's turning left off of Herndon, and the left turn light turns yellow, and I could tell you just like he's not gonna like waste all of his energy.
Punch it, yeah.
No, you're like this guy's not gonna stop and like
stopping means you have to start again.
Yeah. So sure enough, he just like runs through like the super late yellow light, and he's like, he's like slowing, like not even slowing. He's just like conserving all of it. So just
he's
like
gliding.
It's just like the funniest sight. This like car on these like 175s, like this super narrow, just like just like
aggressive,
taking this turn like insanely fast.
Oh, he actually went fast.
Well, I mean, like he didn't he just didn't he didn't brake. He didn't want to,
fuck it.
He was just like preserving his momentum.
Yeah,
it's just those like the funniest sight.
Those would be and people do them. Such a good candidate for a K swap because it's so tiny, and I think it's all aluminum. Yeah, I remember it was like built on whatever the NSX line.
Yeah,
it's like NSX S2000 and Honda Insight.
Yeah,
we're all made in like the same.
The Takumi
Senna inspired.
Yeah, I'm surprised those haven't taken off more. There's a number of cars. Like
I don't think they probably didn't sell that well, so there's not probably too many in the wild.
I just don't. And I'm just not in it anymore. But like, is the Honda scene still exist?
I mean,
or has
the Type
it just
R
been,
brought it back.
Yeah,
but that's its own scene
to varying degrees. I mean, S2000s are a shitload of money.
Yeah. I don't know if people still like.
I mean, it's not as big as it was when we were in high school.
Do people still like do project cars? Like, I don't even...
Yeah, but usually like if they're gonna do it, like I think they spend more money on it.
Because the Fit is another one. I'm surprised there's not more like Fits running around with like K24.
They're probably not quite old enough yet.
Yeah,
I mean, people aren't really like nostalgic for that era.
I guess you're right, because part of what made project cars is like they cost, the shell is like $1,500.
Yeah,
so, you can start with this like junk thing.
You're kind of paying nothing to start.
Yeah. I guess the whole idea was like, I can build something for cheaper. It was a money thing. I guess I forget. It's like, well, just build your own.
Yeah, I can't afford a WRX.
Yeah, and now
I can build my CRX.
Now you need like 15 or 20 grand to build a decent anything, because everything's so expensive.
Yeah.
Yes, the other thing that I do, like I think Hondas are still neat. They're actually aging well.
Yeah. They've always been pretty good at making cars that age well.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the 90s stuff, for as much as we like made fun of it, it's like, oh yeah, these actually were like pretty neat.
It was good. It was popular for a reason.
Yeah, but then I look back on it, it's like, maybe I should build I'm gonna build a whatever.
In all your free time?
Yeah. But I guess I just come back to like, or just buy an S2000. It's like more than ever, I'm like, or just buy something.
Although, isn't it confirmed like all three of us would not fit in an S2000?
From my limited experience, I remember having zero
comfortability.
Well, like I could sit in it okay, but I remember having like zero room to move my legs on the pedal.
Because the steering wheel's fixed, right?
Right. Yeah. That's that. But unless there was like an adjustment I was missing that you could do, or something was broken, like in the seat adjustment.
Yeah, I know. I had a friend who was huge. He was like, he had to be 6'6".
Big dude.
He's a big dude.
He's a big dude.
And I know he had the seat lowered. And he had an S2000.
Oh, right. Like,
and I drove his, but I don't know if maybe it was a lowered seat
yeah.
version. But I don't remember being like, I can't even fit in here.
Oh, right.
But I do remember thinking like, this is not exciting to drive at all. Like this,
because you got to rev the piss out of it to go.
Apparently, they come alive.
In VTEC,
which I just never drive any of my cars like that.
Right.
Ever. But
well, it's like if you're not going to hit VTEC in S2000, you might as well just get a Miata.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not even hitting VTEC. I think it's like, the balance.
Oh, yeah.
When the car is almost out of control is when it really...
delicate.
You can tell. Yeah. But I have been looking at those, even though... So I don't know. I only have one car. Did I have the 3 when we did the last cast?
Probably not.
I think you've been talking
about you had plans to acquire it, but I don't think you had it yet.
Now I own it.
Yeah.
And then I sold the Corvette.
Damn.
Which sucks. I miss it. But my living situation, I have a tiny garage, and it was just like all of the garage was the car. And it's just, when you're busy, it's kind of funny how much stress a car can give you, even just by sitting.
Yeah.
Even when it's a car that you like specifically bought to enjoy.
Yeah. And it's an enjoyable car. It's just like
the car exists supposedly only for fun.
Yeah. I think it's just because on the one hand, you're at least paying like insurance and stuff. So there's this little nag that it's costing you money, but they always just need work.
Yeah.
There's always something that is on the to-do list. And then it's sort of like a flavor of ice cream. No matter how good the car is, if you have committed to muscle memory exactly what it feels like to get into and start and drive around, the novelty of it kind of does wear off.
Yeah.
But then when you get rid of it, like 6 months later, it's like, damn, I missed that flavor of ice cream. So I do miss the Vet, but it was the right move because I got almost 30 grand, 29.5.
So it didn't cost you much to own it.
Yeah. It did because I had to ship it.
That's true.
I like
you put a little bit
whatever.
Of money
into it. But I didn't take too big of a hit. I don't regret it.
Yeah.
But I just wish pretty much every car I've sold, it's like, I wish I just had the space to keep it.
Right.
Yeah. You know, I've never been like, thank God that thing's gone. It's It's like, well, now and it basically all just went toward like credit card debt. It didn't even like turn into anything like cool.
Adult decisions. Yeah. I have my 510 for sale right now.
Damn.
Oh, really?
Because I like it, but as with any other car, like it just sits. Like it looks cool in my garage.
Yeah.
But it's like that car is like almost like so not demanding, but it's like you only like fire that up if you're like taking it somewhere.
Yeah, you can't even.
You're not just going, I just want to fire it up and go for a little like 20-minute drive. I mean, you could, but just like, I don't know, a carbureted car with like no radio, no anything.
Yeah, like today is a cold, overcast day. And you'd probably be like, it's not going to run that well.
Right, do I really want to bother like firing it up?
The road's cold.
Right. Yeah. So I have it for sale and I kind of want to get a Tacoma.
For how much? How much is the 510?
I put it for like 14 or best offer. I think that's like a reasonable, like.
I really don't know how
considering
to price
like
those.
people ask like 9 or 10 for like ones that like basically a project like rusty, like barely running.
God, that's crazy. So, I bought all mine from whatever.
Yeah,
talk to
back in the day,
sub $1,000 cars.
Right.
Never coming back.
Yeah.
Tacoma, what year?
Like a late 90s. I think I don't know. I've always wanted to have like a small truck, just to like
90s body
single
style.
cab, or
yeah, like a stick.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I've never had one, but they're kind of overpriced, or like there's a lot of like really shitty ones.
Yeah.
Just by nature of it being a Toyota truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that those were very overpriced for a while.
Yeah.
But then it's almost like they rapidly inflated, but they've kind of held.
Yeah, it's like you can get like a pretty decent one for like $5.
Oh, really? I was gonna say you should maybe even try to trade for the 510.
That's right. Well, I mean, I even put that in the ad as like possible trade for something like plus cash.
You might have to go out and like find one, but it's sort of the same. Maybe the demographic.
Yeah.
You know, I can see.
But I do think that like mini trucks in general are still like kind of underappreciated because it's like they're light.
Yeah.
Like they're stick. Like they're not that much different than like an A86 or a
you mean
510.
You mean old ones?
Yeah. Like
not anything new. Not a Maverick.
No,
like a
Mighty Max.
Max.
Yeah, like the Mighty Max class of truck.
Yeah.
Like they're not like sports cars, but like they have all the like main ingredients of just being like kind of fun to mess around with.
Yeah, you're right. So, they are surprisingly like if we're gonna sit here and say a '90s Civic DX is like enjoyable to drive, you then have to admit, so were
Tacoma or a Mighty Max,
a thing with like a live axle,
like no weight over the back.
It's like they were redeeming and fun to drive.
Yeah.
Or even my 4Runner was fun to drive.
Right, yeah. But it's basically just a pickup truck version of that.
Yeah. If I had the room, I would actually own one of those. I think a stick one. That auto, even though that auto wasn't bad. It was forgivable. Piece of shit, 4-speed, whatever. Right. But in that...
Gets the job done.
Yeah, I miss that thing a lot. Damn. But I sold it to a friend, and they still have it.
More than the Lexus?
That Lexus... I don't miss because it wasn't. I mean, but even
about the LX.
The LX. Yeah. I think I would like to own a Land Cruiser. I don't know that whole.
Speaking of that, you said that you don't like the new Land Cruiser,
the small one. No,
which I thought was kind of hot.
Hot?
How is it small?
The new Land Cruiser. Yeah, you're talking about the one we get,
the brand new one. Yeah,
the brand new one.
Yeah,
because there is a Land Cruiser in Japan.
That's not
L300.
Right.
The big boy.
Yeah, I'm talking about the Prado, whatever.
Yeah, well, this is based on its look.
Yeah,
which I don't really.
You think it's like trying too hard?
No, I don't think it's trying too hard. I just don't like that look. It reminds me of the Bronco Sport and the Jeep. What was the other? The small
Renegade.
Jeep? Yeah, the Renegade. I just don't like that.
Well, that's like the base headlights. If you get the higher trim.
No, the shape of the vehicle. It's kind of like Scion XB.
Yeah.
Sort of whatever.
I mean, that's like the modern Toyota truck look, though.
I don't know. I like.
Well, I mean, it was kind of like designed to be like kind of have like an '80s sort of look to it.
Maybe I need to look into it more, but I watched like a minute of a driving video.
Have you seen them in person? Like
I don't know.
I've seen quite a few of them.
Yeah,
really.
I've seen a few on the road. They're pretty. We checked one out.
Yeah, they're pretty. They're pretty cheap, like relatively speaking.
Yeah,
you both like them.
I do. I'll probably like.
I like them too.
I mean, if I had
I don't want to be the odd man out.
If I had enough money to buy a nice car for my wife, that's probably what I would buy.
Like if I didn't have a free 7-year extended warranty on the Jeep, I would probably trade in the Jeep for that. Like
really?
In the coming, if my warranty was going to end within the year, because normally
if you're going to be stuck with a Stellantis,
but since the Jeep's paid off and
did you get extended warranty?
No, they gave me one. I mean, I requested one.
It's part of the negotiation
after like the whole ordeal for the very first sway bar, like taking 4 or 5 months to fix the sway bar the first time. They offered to buy the vehicle back. But they didn't have a number. They're like, we just were like legally required to offer to buy the vehicle back because of California lemon law thing. They're like, or we'll give you, I think it was like $3,000 cash to keep the car. And I was like, I want an extended warranty. And so they're like,
and the cash?
Well, I said and the cash, but they came back with 7-year, 100,000 mile warranty. And then I think they gave me $500 cash.
In physical cash?
In physical cash.
They sent him an envelope with Chris.
I want it out of each of your wallets.
Yeah. No, and so I was like, all right,
unmarked.
So when does that run to?
Well, I bought it in November of 22, so 29.
Oh, so you're chilling.
And like I don't drive it enough. I'm not going to hit the 100,000 miles.
That's like the 3. I think all Teslas still. It's like an 8-year, 100,000 mile battery warranty, which is essentially all you'd give a shit about on an EV. And it's just like, I don't care. This is great.
Yeah.
As long as you sell it before that point. It's anybody's guess after that, but I still have 2 years on that. So, yeah, pretty nice. Warranties are sweet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 0 deductible too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But it has to be...
What?
Manufacturing defect or whatever, but you could argue anything is a
I mean, if anything breaks, unless it's like brake pads or something. Yeah, Garrett and I checked one out like in person. We went to this air show.
The only thing I will say is like the factory wheels like really suck.
That's true.
Like the wheels are like very underwhelming.
Yeah,
compared to the rest.
Good thing I know a guy who works at Nito.
I guess I just what is it based on, or what does it most closely resemble?
What do you mean, like mechanically?
Sure, like from a previous... I guess in my mind, it's just sort of this like...
I mean, it's really just like a nicer 4Runner.
Yeah.
Is it body on frame?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is.
But it's what's a hybrid turbo?
Yeah, now it's, they're modern
4-cylinder with a hybrid something. Yeah, I don't know. I guess my just first gut reaction
I think if you saw one in person, you would like it a little bit more.
I don't know about
if you don't
the shape even like looks aside, it was like just sort of my understanding of it. I was like, that's weak. I like if it's body on frame, that's kind of neat. No, I don't. Don't
really need it.
Care. I sort of assumed it was because Bronco Sport and that Renegade thing were both unibody, right? Those are kind of like, hey.
Well, those are just like rebadged, those are like other vehicles.
Those are also like half the price.
Yeah, but still,
and way smaller.
But they do have the same kind of like.
Is it rugged, the size of a 4Runner?
Yeah,
it's that big.
Yeah, they're pretty good size. I mean, it's like the same. It's like the same as the GX, the new GX.
Oh, it is
like the new GX and the Land Cruiser.
I saw a new GX in person, and I was like, like the pictures were so good.
Oh, right. I mean, to me, it looks a lot like a Land Cruiser, just with like a different front.
Yeah,
but maybe that's why I was it's those proportions.
Right.
Like, never mind. But I was when they came out, especially because all the first images were that like gold color, like on a mountain,
gold.
Right? In the woods. I was just like, they won.
And it was like the $80,000 like trail edition.
Yeah. And then I saw it on the road. I was like, that's not it, is it? Is that it? I was like, that's kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Mm-hmm. It's funny how much I talked about this before, but still do it. How much enjoyment I get out of
just browsing,
just not
just window shopping.
Just commenting on the side.
Yeah, just contemplating. Actually, what I've been doing lately, there's this channel called M539 Restorations. It's a pretty popular channel. I think he's over 1 million something subscribers. But it's like he works on his cars, and it's mostly BMW stuff. But it's just this kind of like enjoyable guy to listen to, and he does a really nice job. You could, if you needed to do that repair, he walks you through it, and gives you torque specs and everything. So it's like a really well done version of
how to do this.
Like, shit, I need to understand how to do this.
But like even like the modern M cars,
and so he's extremely competent, and they're very tightly edited. He'll do one side and kind of show you, and then the other side he's putting the suspension back together, and it'll just be the clicks of the torque wrench. Then this side goes on.
Yeah.
But it's done well enough where you could follow it in your garage. But he's doing these kind of like complex. So in one video, like one of them was a E60 M5, the V10, which he bought, which everybody's just like, they're unreliable. Those things are cheap. You can get those all day for 20 grand. With like lowish miles. Even a 6-speed. There's like a small premium, but and so it'll be like an hour-long video. And it'll be like, I'm going to pull the throttle actuators. You have to take the intake off and get to the 2 throttle body mechanical things. He's like, we're going to rebuild them, and like takes them apart and pulls the plastic gears out and like hammers new ones on. He's like, I'm going to pull the valve covers too, and we're going to media blast them. And then I'm going to put new gaskets on, and you have to do this. And everything is like, he takes the time to move the camera each time to get a good view. It is so enjoyable to watch.
Oh, I'm sure. It makes it look super easy too.
And it makes it look easy, but it's the same kind of thing where before Twitch existed, where you'd be like, you know what, I actually kind of like watching someone else play video games. Even as weird as that sounds, I kind of watch it. I'm realizing this is like
kind of the same thing.
Kind of the same thing as I like watching someone else work on a car. But it's also knowledge-y, because he also has a E92 M3, both cars that I could maybe see myself owning. And so you get to watch someone do repairs that maybe you're going to have to do some days. Like, I'm going to pull the headlights out and rebuild them with new projectors and like change out whatever. And then at the end, it's like, oh, that's actually like a really cool repair. You rebuild. It's not just like,
it's not very, it makes it look not daunting.
He makes it look very much not daunting. It was like, oh, the side mirrors fold in when you lock cars. It was like, oh, they fold out, they fold in correctly, but they don't stop when they fold out. It's like there's some little pin in here that's rusted. And he's like taking apart the side mirror, just shit that like I would never fucking, I'd just like buy a used one on eBay. And it's that kind of stuff where you go, oh, I could do that. You're just watching someone really competent. So in addition to driving videos, which I'm actually kind of getting a little bit tired of. Just like the POV driving.
Okay,
we're gonna start it up and walk around. There's a certain point where it's like, I don't really.
Especially if they drive the same road or something. You know?
Yeah, it's more just like, I feel like the ways to
once you get that Vision Pro.
Yeah, once I can experience it firsthand. I think that the ways to describe a car is kind of like a set that everyone in the car community subscribes to.
Right.
Because nobody was fucking talking about like steering feel and rawness in the early 2000s.
Right.
And now everyone is.
Yeah.
And it's not like, oh, these are just the things I think to talk about. It's everyone's watching the same reviews, including people who are making the reviews.
Yeah.
And it's just like, these are the things we talk about.
Yeah.
And you just kind of get tired of watching a review where it's like, he's gonna fucking talk about how it doesn't have enough steering feel.
Yeah, it's like they all copy the same formula.
Or even if they don't realize they're copying it, it's just that's the lens that they're viewing a car through.
Yeah.
Is like, okay, how is this as a driver's car? You know, it's like, I have this thing for 2 days.
Right.
Here are the things I'm going to come up with.
I'm an enthusiast.
Yeah, I'm an enthusiast, basically. Which I don't know if I'm like becoming disillusioned with the whole.
Just getting old.
Don't turn in your enthusiast.
Well, it's just anything you read online. It's just people arguing about like which one's more raw.
Yeah.
Like, I could never buy a new car because the steering's not direct. It's like, I'm fucking tired of hearing about not enough buttons. The steering is numb. They're all turbocharged.
It almost feels like you're driving like a PlayStation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then while being like, I just couldn't move on from like my 2014 model. It's like, those were the cars that were criticized.
Right.
Yeah. Like, don't you see how this goalpost is moving? So, I don't know. How do you feel about Jaguar?
I heard that's a pretty hot
topic.
Yeah, you know, I was initially, if people haven't seen it yet, Jaguar like scrapped everything basically.
Yeah, that's which I sort of like found out like after.
Yeah, so they were like, we're starting fresh, but and it's going to be all EV.
But they're just like a brand of whatever Land Rover.
Are they? Yeah,
like
I can't remember if I looked into who owns them.
Yeah.
And did they buy themselves back, or are they like part Indian owned?
We could look this up.
Probably.
I can't remember.
I'm not even going to.
I can't remember. Like, are they?
Look, it's
like,
not important.
I just didn't know if they were like still British owned or not. I can't remember.
Highly doubt.
Probably as British as anything else, which is not very much.
Okay. So, anyways, they came out with like a sizzle ad. Like,
Well, it was kind of like
it's a teaser.
It was like teasing their new like.
It was like here's Jaguar. It's like we went back to the drawing board. And here's our first just even peek at anything.
Yeah.
And we'll put the video in there because I think it's captured it.
Yeah.
But it's basically,
and even like it even penetrated like well outside of just like the car world.
Yeah. So if you're audio only and you haven't seen it, it's just like, imagine you asked ChatGPT to come up with an ad that embodied like diversity.
Yeah, it's like the year
forward thinking.
The year is 2022.
Yeah. So it's like a 30-second ad with like weird
models
wearing extremely bright colors. Ambiguous gender. Very similar to the Cadillac Lyriq. Remember how much we were making fun of that first ad? It was just like, be bold.
Right, yeah.
And we were kind of saying,
copy nobody.
The safest thing to do these days is to say things that are so vague that no one can be offended by them in particular.
When we come together, we can all inspire each other.
Yeah.
And we can be better together.
And thereby you basically offend everyone.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what they did, because they, in the same sentence, are saying, you need to be very bold. And the method they're saying that with is they set a new bar for generic.
Yeah.
Like,
it passed through like 7 different marketing managers.
I mean, it is just like, there's no part of this thing that isn't, it's almost satirical.
Right.
Yeah. It's almost satirical.
Yeah.
And they don't show a car.
And of course there's no car. Yeah. And
but supposedly like the big reveal is like next week.
That's exciting.
So
anyways, when we first saw this, we were like, oh, I can't fucking wait to make fun of this on the podcast. Like, it's going to be so easy. But then since then,
everyone
has made fun of it. And now I'm kind of like, what if it's good? It's like, I don't want to be.
How do I be contrarian?
Yeah, never mind. I have to be contrarian to the contrarian. And so, but there is part of me that's like, is there a chance this is good?
Well, the only thing that I was thinking, if it's like this kind of elaborate, like satirical thing where it's like, just kidding, it's not that, and like a monster truck runs into the like studio.
Actually,
like,
we still have gas powered cars.
It's like, here's our new line of like V8s.
They just pull a 180.
And it's all those people just like running away from something.
That.
Like,
I don't think
you better get prop out of here, man.
Oh, we got you. Yeah.
There's like a 60-something-year-old British guy.
Yeah. No, I just.
What do you fruitcakes do?
I just don't think. Because I was kind of thinking, like, what even? How do you even make?
The other thing is, like, Jaguar kind of sucks to begin with.
Yeah, they weren't good to start with.
Yeah,
and we've already made fun of them for.
Right.
This is a whole new realm for them to be made fun of.
Yeah.
But now I'm realizing they were way better before this.
Yeah. They're still trending down.
Yeah, whatever they were doing, was much better. Yeah, so I guess we'll see. But I was just trying to think, like, can you even just make an EV outside of Tesla?
No,
that is interesting. You know,
not
like
really.
Did you see that Cadillac Celestiq?
Is that like the hand?
Yeah, it's like 300 grand
yeah.
and like all this stuff. And I'm watching it just like, this is so uninteresting. This thing is so.
What I keep hearing is that, like, at least like a lot of the American cars, like there was almost going to be like a 2009 like moment like coming for them.
You mean of them
like
crumbling?
a bailout?
Because they went all in on EVs
like,
and now they're.
But is it like it almost like boggles the mind in a way? Like it's like literally every car company on earth almost just like decide in a 2-year period to like restructure their entire fucking company out of like some like vaguely blowing like political wins or something.
Well, I think what happened is you cannot deny Tesla makes good cars.
Yeah, of course.
And so based on that, I think a lot of very
it's like all you
short-sighted
all you have to do is
like,
we just have to repeat
that.
It
was like, oh shit, look, and it's not that hard.
Right.
And like, just go do it. And people are buying the shit out of that. I mean, I really think it was that dumb.
Yeah.
And so then it was like, everybody go, there's all this demand over here.
Right.
And it's like, no, there's demand for that.
Right.
Yeah.
But
even that is like
even
limited.
that you have to like pry it.
Yeah.
You have to like
and
force
like
people
the
to
potential
use
is
it.
not like exponential.
So I really think it's because of Tesla. I think Tesla convinced some very progressive and aggressive policymakers like, oh dude, this is I'm going to stake my
repeat this.
Yeah, it's obviously it's good to do anyways and people like it. Let's force it. And then somehow automotive executives were just like, all right, if you'll like give us money or like, I mean, I really do think it was just this train wreck that to anybody who buys and consumes and uses cars was like, wait,
and the whole thing was
this isn't gonna
and the whole thing was kind of floating on that like 2-year period where there's just like a shitload of fucking money just like injected into everything.
Yeah.
Just like we're going to the moon, baby. Like people like
just do anything.
Fiat Tellurides are selling for 20 grand over, man. Like we need to roll these electric
fail.
Whatever. Like there's no limit to the demand for electric Escalades.
It's kind of funny how just I guess every country does this, but being a citizen of this country and guessing we probably boom and bust harder than most.
Yeah.
And it's just funny looking back on boom periods where it's like, this thing's going up.
Like this is the future.
This cannot fail.
Yeah.
Just you look back on times like the Titanic and it's like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
The audacity of
look what we built. Yeah.
Just we can't fight. We're just doing bold things.
Do you remember like a year and a half ago or some people like Toyota is getting its like ass kicked.
They're done.
EV.
Yeah.
It's like
they're just going
their
hybrid.
EV is such a joke.
Yeah.
Like they do not.
But what's funny too is that was really cool to say.
Yeah.
Really cool to talk shit about Toyota.
Right.
And like overnight, it's really cool to be like, I knew all along. Toyota
hybrids
Toyota must be laughing all
Mhm.
the way to the bank. It's like, I'm almost certain it's the same people saying that.
Oh, for sure.
And so you just kind of have to assume anything you read on the internet is written by idiots. Majority.
Most
like
of it
any
is.
big opinion, it's like, I guess that's what makes me want to read it less and less.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hungering for like car magazines. Like back the days of just like articles
or
and
at least,
shootouts.
or at least where it's not just all staff, but the same people that are all just cut from the same cloth.
Yeah, you have 20 people in the industry
they all
circulating
basically
around.
think the same.
Yeah, saying the same things. Yeah, it's just kind of funny to watch stuff. To watch the like excitement of the moment,
but it sort of gives you like
fade.
it irritates you, and you're like, wait, like you're fucking like you're General Motors, and like you were this like short sighted. Like we're getting rid of our gasoline car. Like we're gasoline like engines. We're done with that.
Yeah, it's pretty wild that
Although they are entering Formula One. I didn't. I watched the Vegas race.
Yeah.
Like, it's like the only race I've watched all year, and they were like talking about GM coming in next year.
Well,
Or
I think,
2 years.
I
2
think
years.
all of them were kind of running toward the cliff, and the only one that jumped off was Dodge.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like
They might have like literally like killed
they
themselves.
literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like all three of them were.
They might not come back.
It's like Looney Tunes, where it's like they've already run off the cliff,
Yeah,
and they're
yeah.
still running.
They're
and
looking backwards,
Yeah,
and
they
the
just haven't
other
looked
two-
down yet. Yeah.
Ford is like still on the edge, and like
Yeah,
GM's like 1 foot over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like Stellantis is like already falling
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
yeah, it's like you guys also got rid of your V8s, right?
Yeah.
like,
You guys also got rid of all of your popular.
you guys also sold your V8 tooling. I mean, it's just I don't see any, and I thought that Charger thing was out. Apparently, it's not yet.
There's like
Yeah, they keep, like,
pre-production.
The Hornet's out.
The Hornet's
Well,
just like
that's an
SUV.
embarrassment. Yeah, but I mean, that company's success, Dodge at least. I don't know about Stellantis as a whole.
I think it is. Like this. Do you know about the huge Jeep recall that they're doing right now
For which
About
ones?
for the batteries?
Oh,
The hybrids?
is that still going on?
Yeah,
It's
so
like,
they just issued another one. So there was a big one for the Wranglers that was like
The 4xe?
6.
Oh,
Yeah, the
this is-
You know
4
what's funny is like I've always kind of liked those a little bit,
Yeah.
but like I saw you can like there's like you can lease one of those
Oh,
for like
they're
$250 a month.
They're just tanking because like they're like 6 months ago there was like the huge Wrangler recall.
So
where it's-
is 4xe a drivetrain? Do
Yes.
they all share the same?
Yeah.
Very similar.
Grand
yeah.
Cherokee Wrangler. It's a 4-cylinder.
it's a 4-cylinder turbo with
How many electric
with
motors?
one electric motor in. Well, there's two. There's a small one on.
Basically, there's nothing that could ever go wrong.
There's a
with
big
anything
electric
on that
motor in the
vehicle.
transmission,
Okay.
and then there's the small one that acts as like the starter and the alternator on the 4-cylinder.
Something you
Okay.
would never
That's like
ever want to own.
Oh, they're
without a
both
warranty.
kind of on.
Yeah, so
neither
like
of them
the
is on
one
the
on the
axle.
No,
They're both okay.
Yeah, one-
and then
yeah.
a big battery.
and decent 17 kilowatts, so it's not massive.
Okay,
but
probably about a couple hundred pounds.
yeah, for sure.
Probably more than that. Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So there was a huge one 6 months ago.
Recall.
For the Wrangler, and took a while for it to fix. It was like a software update to detect if the battery was failing.
And I believe, which is basically always close to the single nail in the coffin, is park your vehicle outside.
Yes,
right.
that was what it was. It was like
Fire hazard.
Park your
Something could go
do
wrong.
not charge your vehicle and park
Yeah.
your vehicle out away from any structures
Yeah.
until this fix happens. And
Which
so,
in their mind, I mean, how many have probably had caught on fire? Like
I think it's
single
like-
digit
I think-
or
Yeah.
something?
yeah,
you
I
know.
don't. It's like less than 1%.
But it's so severe they have to
they
be
have to
Right.
say that. Well,
but to get that warning about your car,
Do not park this in your garage.
actually your car might
spontaneously catch
This
fire.
could be very bad.
like
yeah.
you're not like, oh, okay, I'll wait to see how this plays out.
Right.
And so it was like a software update to better detect when the battery, I forgot, starts to.
Yeah, it was like an which is funny to think about. It's like, oh, it's just some tiny little.
Yeah. And so then they had to replace a lot of batteries because, they would do the update and then, either immediately or like a week or two later or throw a check engine light saying like, hey, this battery's bad. So then they had to
interesting.
replace a decent amount, like probably a couple 5,000, 10,000 batteries.
Okay.
Jump forward to 6 months later. Turns out all of those batteries that they just manufactured and replaced them with are also defective.
Okay.
So now there's another widespread recall for like pretty much 90% of Wrangler 4xEs and Grand Cherokee 4xEs.
All
yours
of them?
is yours part of
Mine
it?
is part of it.
Oh boy.
Yeah. And so now
So your battery has to be replaced.
I don't know. Like now it's just like they
They-
just put
they
out
have
the
to- they have to
recall.
check and see.
The fix isn't available yet.
Do you have to park it outside again?
That's what it was informed to me. Yes, like do not charge, and so I haven't. Oh, I
don't usually charge it
I don't
much,
charge
yeah.
it that often, anyways. Just
But there was a point 6 months ago where they said all clear, put it back in your garage.
for the Wranglers, yes.
Okay.
And then like mine, the Grand Cherokees were not affected 6 months ago.
And now
it's like
Wranglers
wait,
again.
Just kidding.
Put your Wrangler back outside.
Put your back outside.
But
And
just
so
plus, not only that, just imagine how much money that's costing.
yeah,
the
and so
company.
now it's an even more widespread recall because it still includes all of the original Wranglers as well as the Grand Cherokees. The 2024 model years supposedly aren't affected. Apparently, Samsung fixed whatever the defect was.
Was it a bad? It was
It's
the
a
manufacturer.
manufacturer of the battery.
That sucks.
And so
Samsung.
now
Now they do the.
supposedly the software update is coming for the Wranglers December, and then for the Grand Cherokees January.
Didn't Samsung do the Note?
Yes.
That was the exploding cell phone.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
You actually can't bring that on plane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could kill everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, but aside from these recall, which is obviously no one's going to want one of these because
Yeah.
anybody who's heard of this ever is going to be like, aren't those the ones that blow
Yeah.
up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Like-
and it's like, like obviously like used, you can't sell a vehicle with an active recall. And
Oh, really?
And there's no fix.
Oh, that's
so it's
right,
like
yeah.
if CarMax owns any of these,
They're just sitting.
they just can't sell them.
Fuck.
And like obviously,
just appreciate.
like Jeep or whatever, any car dealership that has used ones, like they can still sell new ones because supposedly they are not affected by
Yeah.
the recall.
Interesting.
Yeah. So they're just sitting there.
But okay, so aside from these issues, you really like the powertrain, right? Like if this thing had been bulletproof,
again, like besides the sway bar, which is like it wasn't going to fall off. It was
But
just.
you said you never even plug it in, basically.
I
Even
don't.
before.
Even before all the recalls, I would probably charge it 3 days a month.
Yeah.
Just because electricity here is so expensive.
Right.
But for people
okay.
that live in like other states where electricity is way cheap, they're very.
So you would just let it if you don't.
I would
plug
just drive it
in
as a regular hybrid.
and it still acts. It'll kind of
It
like
charges
charge
the battery
engine
like
ish.
it like
What
keeps
does it?
the
What does it?
battery
What does it
around
get? Like
20%.
20 miles to the gallon or something?
22 city,
Oh yeah.
and then like 26
on the
highway.
Yeah.
And so it's like that's like double what the SRT was.
Right.
So it's
right.
like whatever.
But
And
it's, but it's probably not that far off. With just like a V6.
oh, probably not.
Would
Yeah,
be, yeah.
yeah. It's like the same as a V6.
And then, but if you 20, what'd you say it gets? with your
22
driving?
city. Just my little commuting back and forth from work.
And then if you did plug it in every day,
I would not.
would it-
I would not have to use any gas technically until the engine would get mad at
Basically,
but
most
if you had to do a 200-mile trip, would having a full battery do anything?
Not
Or would
really,
it,
because
just,
it only adds like 25 to 30 miles depending.
it doesn't like hybrid itself better or something?
not
No,
really.
because
So a
even-
plug-in hybrid is really just about if you have a short
it's always going to be a hybrid.
yeah, it's always a hybrid.
It always keeps,
keeps the battery around 20%.
yeah.
even if you've plugged it in overnight.
Even if you never.
Well, if you plug it in, it charges it to 100%,
And then consumes it down to 20.
Yeah, and then
for the rest
starts
of your
using
trip.
starts using the gas.
So if you do a 500-mile trip, this is really only going to affect the first
20
however many.
pretty much. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
So a regular, and then it becomes like a slightly worse
hybrid
regular hybrid
because it's
it has a
heavier.
600-pound battery or
Yes.
whatever it is. Okay, I never really understood that. I guess that makes sense because it's so funny because a plug-in hybrid then is like what people say they want.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like I can't do an EV
Well, it
because
would
my
be-
family goes on trips.
Yeah.
but
Well, I
could
think
do-
I think if electricity is like significantly cheaper
than
then
gasoline.
it could be.
then you would charge it every
I would
night.
charge it every
really
day.
is a cost thing.
Yeah, and then like because my commute to work is short, like I would always be.
I mean,
EV.
we charge ours, but like again, like I don't really know if I don't think you're really accomplishing much.
No, you're not
like,
saving money.
financially.
It's just
yeah.
you're due. Like, we both have solar, so you're
Right.
literally going to pay for gas.
Yeah.
In a one lump sum at
Right.
the end of the year, which
Yeah.
is just like a big.
Yeah, I was
hit.
trying. I was just trying to think about it before you even factor in. Okay, how much is that actually saving you
Yeah.
when you like charge it? You know, it's not electricity.
And
It's not free.
When I first got it, like 2 years ago, electricity was like probably half the cost as
Yeah,
what
it
it is now.
jumped.
Yeah.
And
PG&E at
I was
least.
charging way more back then.
Yeah.
and it's just gone.
thought
up.
you were cheating the system.
I know.
Basically, as far as I can tell, like the vast majority of plug-in hybrids, it's like the battery is like a gallon of gas, basically.
Yeah,
like, give or
pretty much.
take.
Yeah.
Like even on a Prius, it's like you can go 40 miles or 45 miles or whatever.
So then that would kind of make me just want a regular Prius. That kind of makes the
It just
prime,
depends on, yeah. In California,
I mean, you get more power and stuff.
Yeah, but only if you've plugged it in.
No.
I think the power.
It always has enough battery power for if you like floor it.
Because it usually has like a bigger motor, electric motor. I think.
Yeah.
Okay. So no matter what, even if you're at 20%,
you always have more
be
performance.
faster than a regular hybrid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like these plug-in hybrids are going to age the worst. And regular hybrids will age the best because the cost of the battery replacement is definitely a thing after like even the best ones
10 years
only last 7 years or something, 90 to 100 something thousand.
I really like the new Camry.
Is it hybrid only?
Yeah, I just like that. It's just like as far as just like a car.
Yeah.
Like, which has always been
just like
crushed.
It's just like, are you ever gonna like get better than just like as a basic car that like it's a Camry that gets like 50 miles to the gallon?
Yeah,
roomy.
Yeah,
the Camry has just. I feel like the Camry just like won the automobile in like the late 90s, but it's never gonna be exciting if you're like into cars.
Yeah.
It's never the only thing. Like even when I had mine. The thing I appreciated was how good it was at just being that. Like you have to be like into that. You're never gonna be like, this is actually pretty rewarding to drive.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You just have to.
Well, they say like I mean, relatively speaking, like it handles.
Yeah, I'm sure
it's better.
Yeah. I'm sure it's great. And actually,
it's won a lot of NASCAR races.
The old ones were like pretty fast. Like you step on it.
It's got that track record.
That's right. It's pedigree.
Yeah, pedigree.
Yeah. I haven't really heard anything about the. Isn't the Accord hybrid only as well?
Not only.
I wouldn't be surprised if it does.
And they finally made the Civic hybrid. They brought the Civic hybrid to the U.S. a year or two ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, which those seem sweet.
Those are nice too.
A lot of people are.
CRV hybrid, sport touring, also a good vehicle.
Oh.
Really?
Well, we bought that for Christine.
Oh, that's what you have?
Yeah.
Does Honda make anything that's not a hybrid?
Yes. Every vehicle has a non-hybrid.
I mean, does every vehicle have a hybrid option?
Oh, I think.
Does the Odyssey?
No, not yet. Maybe it's some. Well, I don't think any of their big.
What's the HRV?
Or no, that's tiny.
That does. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point it does.
But. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. What's their? Not MDX. What's the MDX equivalent?
Pilot.
That has a hybrid?
No.
And then there's a Passport too.
Yeah, those are all. Yeah, the Odyssey, the Pilot,
those
the
are all.
Line.
Yeah, they have like V6 options though. Yeah.
Interesting times.
Yeah,
it's kind of like.
Apparently, did you guys hear like Nissan? Well, not surprising. Like Nissan is supposedly like.
Well, you told us
in deep shit.
Yeah,
Nissan. Fucking.
I mean, that's
12. They have like 12 months.
That's what they said. I mean, I doubt that, but like they're not doing well.
Yeah.
No.
Shocking. Look back to episode 1.
Circle back.
Yeah, we're really on point
with Nissan.
Basically, all of this. We're about 12 to 60 months ahead of the rest of the industry.
Yeah. Yeah, I made the joke that Brie Larson's gonna.
Oh, that's right.
She's gonna fix it.
Ambassador.
Yeah, Nissan ambassador Brie Larson. She's on it.
But yeah, I mean, I think I think these companies are just fucked. Like. Imagine if like there's something that you build and you've built that for decades and you're just like, well,
yeah,
what if we stopped doing all that and then did this?
Yeah. But do you think it's what do you think is causing it? Like Nissan didn't really go that hard.
I mean, they spend a lot.
They're just very. I mean,
they've
got the reputation.
They were never that good to begin with.
Yeah,
and then they made it even worse.
Yeah, like their whole CVT transmission debacle, like. What it was like 5 years of just
and I think mostly just the Koreans just kind of
filled that gap filled that market.
Like if you're not a Honda or Toyota person, if you're not Honda or Toyota material,
and then like Subaru's gimmick is the four
Subaru and Mazda kind of have their own like niche.
Yeah,
where Nissan is just kind of like a poor man's Toyota.
It's been limping along.
Yeah,
but they move a lot of units, right? Or maybe
that's what I mean. I feel like
I feel like I don't really see that many like
Kia and Hyundai.
I don't see that many like new Nissans on the road.
And you see a lot of new.
I've literally seen one Z like ever.
What a fucking
on the
embarrassment.
Street. Yeah.
Another thing we made fun of. The Supra is apparently ending soon.
Yeah, so they made like a final edition.
Yeah, they made like a final edition only in Europe.
In Japan. I know.
I don't even think it's in Japan.
Oh, really?
It's like maybe in Japan.
They're not going to bother.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get why like certain things about Europe is always like, oh, you have to have like a 0.8 liter, you're taxed. But then they will also get like special versions of
performance cars.
Actually,
yeah, I don't know.
This is totally not. Coin sometimes send those Nürburgring videos.
Oh yeah,
what's that guy? Misha something.
Misha Chow.
Yeah.
Good morning, comrades.
Dude, I was watching some of those ones you sent, and I was just like, the fact that like the Nürburgring still exists and like
flourishes
in our year of our Lord 2024, 2025.
Yeah,
it's like there's some like sketchy ass stuff.
Well, even in his video,
that's what
basically
I mean.
Every video he almost gets in an accident.
That's what I mean. It's like there's a guy on a motorcycle and like a guy in a GT3 and a guy in like a Peugeot 107. It's just like mayhem. Like I mean, I know there's accidents there, but it must not happen that much.
I don't know, man. It's also
just
like
a lot of close calls.
I mean, I know people like die there. Yeah. Maybe not regularly, but it's not like uncommon.
Yeah. I think there's just certain things that are baked into tradition and you just kind of can't get rid of.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I like that it exists, but like,
I know
kind of the image of like Germany, especially.
That and the Autobahn. You know,
that's true. Yeah. But yeah, it's like your image of Germany is like, it's like, no, you can't say that. Like, your bumper has to be like this many millimeters to protect pedestrians.
That's just like the EU in general.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like,
and then they have this like death match, the ultimate car, unrestricted.
Yeah. Demolition derby.
But it's like, could you imagine like having that like anywhere in the U.S. like with all the like the
I would probably
liability.
Nah, I guess I don't totally mean this, but I'd be tempted to move near it.
Yeah,
like that. The fact that exists, and it's like you go in the parking lot, and it's like in any of his videos, it's always like a car show.
Yeah.
People standing around and stuff. They're like, I ran like 4 laps today, or it's just like, fuck, that would be awesome. Yeah. And the fact that I like the Nürburgring because in a lot of ways it's not that technical.
Yeah.
There are stretches of it where it's just like, this is just like a
fast road
kind of.
I wonder if like Gran Turismo and games like that have made it even more popular since people can quote unquote practice and like learn the tracks easier and then like go and do it in real life.
Yeah, I'm sure it helps.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it must be a profit generating thing, and it's so established. It's not. Yeah, there's not like houses nearby. Like shut down.
Yeah. You need to close the racetrack.
Yeah, I think it's very old, right? I mean, it was at least having to do with like Nazi Germany, but maybe even older than that. Yeah, I don't know, but I watched those videos. Like, this fucking rules because those videos are so entertaining because it's almost like he's on the street.
Right? Yeah. Like, this guy wants some.
Yeah, you get a very good just idea of the car.
But then you're just like, you're blown by cars. They're just like literally like they're standing still.
Yeah.
It's like, God.
I think they must give you some kind of
guide.
Like,
stay on the side.
Yeah. It's kind of expected that everyone like, and maybe it self-selects a bit.
Like, do they have like, like regular racetracks have like flaggers that like warn about fast cars? I wonder if there's like some type of electronic thing that they give each person that says like warns them.
I don't think so, because there's plenty of times where he's like, fucking look in your mirrors. Blow past. Yeah, one of the videos, my 2 favorite videos probably from that channel are, one, there's a guy in just a box stock FL5.
Yeah, that's one that you said.
Yeah, and he's just like kind of a kid. And what's neat too is a lot of people will have cars. In that case, it's stock, but a lot of times, like, here's my project car, I built it up. But then they give it to him, and it's like, this is going to be 50% faster than you've ever driven this thing. Right. And so their reaction is just like, whoa, fuck.
Yeah.
And so he's just very animated. And maybe we'll put the, link in the description. Just look for the most recent, it's a white FL5, Misha's video. But partway through the video, he has like a buddy or something in like kind of a stock plus, I think, E92 M3. Like, and they're just like trading blows back and forth in 2 cars that apparently are similar performance, but you just would not, your brain, it kind of calibrates your brain, but they're so similarly matched. It's just like such an exciting video. And then the other one is a guy in a lightly gutted Model S plaid with the whatever track pack, which is just like wheels and carbon brakes. But just watching that thing fucking fly, it just ungodly. Those things are so. Absurd. You can get a Plaid for 50s now, high 40s.
Yeah. I've seen a few around town, but like they're always like putting around Herndon. Like they never,
I mean, how would you?
No, I know.
I get why they make it, and I kind of like the idea of it, but just how would you not just get speeding tickets?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
you have to put it in like a certain mode to do like this, but even still, just stock it. Just no, you just literally just push one button. And
no, it's probably like a
launch
extra
mode.
cooling mode or something.
What do you? All
just
the
to
power's on all the
that's
time.
What I mean. Okay, so it is. Yeah.
I mean, there's like throttle sensitivity modes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But like Thanksgiving was yesterday, and so we like drove to Thanksgiving, and I had my dad drive the 3. He's never driven an EV, and so I was like, "Oh, you got to drive it, and he enjoyed it, but like you don't get any sense of an EV's ultimate performance unless you just explore the ultimate performance. And so there's part of me that wanted to be like,
just explore it.
Like,
give it the
punch
beans.
it, man. Yeah. And he never did. I mean, he drove it very smoothly. But it's that kind of thing where it's like a lot of people probably own the Plaid
and just put around
and punch it once for their friends.
Yeah, never again.
I mean, even that thing, I very rarely go full throttle.
Stand.
Even if you're like passing. Well, I guess you probably don't. You don't drive. You don't drive on like a 1 lane each direction road.
Yeah, you don't even need. I mean, maybe it is kind of nice to be able to just like, just get away from me. Right. Just like quickly.
So unquestionable.
You can. The nice thing about a fast accelerating EV is you can express anger quite easily. Like fucking get out. Like you can just sort of you can just kind of show them that you're upset by like blowing back. Like this, there was a backed up traffic and then an open lane to an off ramp, and a dude trying to like wait till the last minute to get into the backed up traffic where I was trying to use the open lane. I was trying to exit. And so I'm behind him, single lane, and he starts to slow down.
To try to cut in,
trying to cut in with his turn signal on, and has to come to a complete stop. And so I like wait till the last second, haul on the brakes like an asshole up behind him. And then as he like squeezes in and just like mat it. Yeah, it's like that was essentially a middle finger. And something that is easier to do in an EV. But other than that, I mean, I'm never like racing anyone.
No.
It's also kind of funny. I mean, maybe if I was next to something very exciting, but a lot of cars, I'll get people sort of like goosing it next to me sometimes. It'll be like a Focus ST. It's like, dude, this isn't going to be skill. I just have to push the thing I'm already pushing. Like there's just
disappear.
Yeah, it kind of just like removes my competitive edge. Like I wonder whose car.
We catch it just right.
Yeah, you just never know. Yeah, it's like I'm looking at my state of charge.
I still laugh thinking about the time when we were using that car.
God, that was so funny.
And we were just like, we were just punching around town, and then we like came because the 3 was still pretty new at that time.
That was very new. The performance had only been out for a few months.
But I remember we came across like the 2 dudes in like a base 3, and like they were doing like the same thing. Like you'd see them punch it and like laughing and giggling, and then we caught a light with them.
Street race with 2 Model 3s. I was laughing because it's just like, what will the outcome?
I have the better one.
Walked away from him. Oh man, yeah, that was sweet. Yeah, it was rare. I remember being like, what are the chances?
What are the chances 2 Model 3s could ever be next to each other?
I know. Where now it's like fucking crazy.
Go to Irvine, California. And it's like 50% of the cars
everywhere.
Yeah, I'll be at a 4-way stop, and it's like, why 2 3s in a row? It's just, but what is kind of nice, I guess, is that I don't seem to care. It's kind of like cell phones, where it's like, oh man, yours looks like mine. Like, I need to express my individuality. It's like I kind of
need to get a wrap.
Yeah, there's part of me that's kind of like, you know what? I don't think anyone's gonna care.
No,
I don't think people really look. They their car in their driveway.
Yeah.
And they don't really go like, no one else can.
It's not really like a status thing.
It's not really like clothing.
Not anymore.
Like, oh, fuck, I'm wearing the same thing as them. It's just like, which white Tesla is mine?
Right.
In the parking lot. And it doesn't, I mean, I'm sure some people are like tired of the look, but I don't know. Seems to not really matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to really like slow people down.
Wonder what they're going to do next year now that Elon's, what's his title?
Department of Efficiency.
Co-president.
Yeah, co-president.
Federally issued.
Yeah, I think the Model Y update is going to be a
well. That's another big thing that that could potentially fuck over Stellantis and Chevy is if they get rid of the tax rebate.
Oh, the tax credit,
$7,500.
I agree. That is a big one. I feel like a lot of people.
It's like they're already losing so much money.
No, I know.
Fuck, I know. It's significant too. $7,500 per car. Yeah, I think that's a big deal, and there's gonna be a hangover for a while.
Yeah,
because a lot of people are gonna be like, "Look, this was $7,500 cheaper 2 months ago.
Right,
like, I'm not gonna buy this just out of principle."
Yeah.
You gotta lower the price.
Yeah, that's one of those things where like. I was happy to take advantage of it, but I don't necessarily think it was a good thing.
Yeah. You're just opportunist.
Well, I mean,
I think it is.
You were early too.
Yeah.
I think it serves a purpose. It's you have to inject money into this industry to make it go.
Right.
Like there's just no way.
But we still sort of saw like how it ended up, though.
Yeah. Well, it kind of ended up. I wonder if in a way that's why all these. I mean, I don't even know if it's fair to say these EVs were rushed. Yeah. Is this just the best?
I think it is.
They can do? Is this just...
It's the best they can do with, like, the limits of, like, physics, I think.
But Teslas are good.
But I mean, but Tesla was, like, good from the beginning. Yeah. So it's like, anyone, I think, like, the potential of the market is limited, and they've already, like, sucked
they've eaten
up
it all up.
It, like,
I guess if this is as good as traditional manufacturers can make EVs, we probably need to wait another 10 years.
Yeah.
Like these just are not compelling. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Like just.
And again, like I don't even really like blame the manufacturers. Like the cars themselves are fine.
Yeah, they're
just
fine.
Like,
they're just
it's like, it's an EV. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's like, it's an SUV that like you can't take on a trip. Like, like that's about it basically.
Yeah, it's also the combination of, at least in California, the electricity cost just killed. It basically comes down to like, it's like really convenient to not have to go to a gas station. Because it used to be literally if it was half the price. Yeah, now I am averaging the cost. I think it's about 60 miles per gallon average with cost or whatever.
Right.
And you go, well, you could get a Prius. But this thing has 600 horsepower or whatever. But I mean, there are still advantages.
Yeah.
But if electricity was as cheap as it is in some places, it'd be like, dude, these things are like free to run.
Right.
You know, where now it's like, well, they're a little bit more efficient.
Yeah. We're talking like 35 miles to a gallon.
Maybe you'll go through tires a little more. So it's like kind of a wash.
Plus whatever insurance or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. It is kind of an interesting time.
Yeah.
But with that said, there's still a lot of good. People keep harping about how cars aren't good. I mean, I guess this is the decision point. It's like if the Supra's ending,
well, I think
they replace it?
I think the biggest problem is that most cars are good in like they're good now sense, but like imagine a fucking Jeep 4xe 15 years from now.
Yeah,
like just imagine like what. Yeah. What is that going to be?
Yeah.
I mean, like not a new one. Like imagine owning a 2020 or Jeep 4xe.
Yeah. Like what
in 2037?
Yeah. What state is the battery going to be
like,
in?
Could a person even own something that's so complicated and so like tech?
Yeah.
Old tech like that.
Are they way more complicated?
Well, it's got a turbocharger. It's got what?
Oh, the turbo.
A battery. It's got electric motors that like already fucking suck. Like,
it has air suspension.
Yeah, just like that does not sound
has
like
all these things that can just break.
I guess the place that's really going to be bad is places where they salt the roads.
Yeah, that's not
add to it all that stuff, and it's like corroded.
Well, but the thing is, like, even if you look at right now, like a Mitsubishi 3000 GT was like a cool car when it was new. It was like fast and like cool, but like, why is it like worth like 1/10 of what an NSX is.
Yeah, the things
or even a Supra.
Yeah, which is why I keep coming back to the Honda stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it doesn't really sound as cool and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, fuck, they're so easy to work on.
Yeah.
And just dead reliable.
Right.
And like that stuff really does.
But just imagine every car on the road having like the complexity of a 3000 GT VR4.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And questionable about whether or not you'll be able to get parts for it.
Let alone like work on it
and
yourself.
Even if you can't, like parts even now are like back ordered.
Yeah.
Like if something needs to be replaced on my car, it's like, oh, you got to wait 6 months.
Man, how did this all go so bad? I guess because they just tried to shift everything so quickly without enough respect for how much time it took to tune things as they were.
It also feels like they just like badly misforecasted like the demand. I think because it was all
that's absolutely true.
Because it was all in that year when like remember like in 2021 when it's like dealers don't have cars, like they're selling anything they can get. Like
this thing's going to get worse.
Yeah. It's like
this thing's going
it's like people love expensive SUVs.
Yeah,
like EVs, people you can't get enough of them. It's like the market was like totally abnormal at that time, and like it's always going to be like that.
Yeah, it's also funny.
Although I admit that I was like sort of like not misled, but like I like got that wrong because I was like, man, why would dealers ever go back to having?
That's true.
I was like, why would they ever go back to having shitloads of cars and huge discounts when they can just like artificially limit cars and like add $15,000?
That's
each
true.
one.
We can finally revisit that.
Yeah,
it was just like, no, this is market forces.
Yeah.
It would only work if Ford was the only car company that existed.
Yeah, if like everyone decided to do it.
Yeah, if they could like collude to keep it the way it was.
Yeah.
It's just like, no, someone's going to slip.
They're going to just turn the machine back on.
Yeah, they're going to start offering discounts or whatever. It's like,
remember Tesla? Like,
I
remember when Peter bought his, I think it was Model Y or Model 3, it was like, you need to be on this like Discord server and it'll like update you when a car becomes available.
Oh,
it's
really?
It's like you got to jump on it.
It's funny because they adjusted prices up so quickly because it was like, oh, the cost of materials, and then they adjusted prices down so quickly.
Yeah.
And people look at that data point and go, EVs depreciate so crazy.
Right, yeah,
and it's like compared to 2021,
right?
I guess. But I've been watching that since I bought it. I think $25,000 is kind of the floor,
right? First one,
because first of all, that government incentive, under $25,000, you get $4,000 off. So basically, everyone just lists their car for $24,900,
right?
And it's like that's the kind of trigger,
and that's probably gonna go away anyways.
Yeah, I don't know what that'll do to it, but I think people are like, these things are going to depreciate down to zero.
Right.
It's like, no, they took a big, admittedly, people who bought during the time you're talking about, may have financed a Model 3 Performance for like $60,000 or something, and they still owe $50,000, and it's worth $30,000. Like that sucks,
right?
But now, if you buy one, I don't think the new ones are going to follow that same. No, I think it's going to be regular car depreciation. It's not going to be wait a few. I've seen people do it like the new Model 3 Performance. Like, wait a few years and buy it for $20,000. Dude, I don't think so. I don't think, at least not those. I think that other stuff like the Taycan or how you say that. As cool as that is, it's like, I don't know what they did. I don't trust that to not have some weird, confusing
German thing
that I don't understand that is going to break. So, kind of an odd time.
Yeah.
But I think it does reinforce the fact that people's suspicion about like 90s and 2000s cars going up in value is like, if you want to keep something long term, that's probably the area to hit. Yeah. Like that realm, that ain't coming back.
And the best thing is like most of those cars you can either work on yourself or find someone that's like good at working on them that doesn't need to be like a fucking
expert. Trained tech.
Did I tell you about my dad's Jeep thing?
I know about it.
My dad had a Cherokee.
Yeah. Well, it was your old Cherokee.
Yeah, I bought it originally.
Trailhawk.
And there was like issue with the
transfer case.
Yeah. And he took it to like a bunch of different shops because the car was like just out of warranty. It had like 75,000 miles or something on it.
What do you mean an issue?
Like the transfer case, like the transfer case, just
the car
like
wouldn't drive forward. Like he was on the highway, the car just died.
Yeah, right? the transfer case basically.
The transfer case just kind of shattered.
Basically went out. Yeah,
went out, and so like he would try to put it into drive, and the car wouldn't go forward. Scott eventually realized like if you put it in reverse, it would go backwards.
Sometimes you could get it to go for like a little bit, and then it would just stop again.
It was like a mechanical.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah,
but anyway, so like he went to a bunch of like regular mechanics and like because like
he didn't want to take it to a dealership.
Well,
at first.
Well, yeah. So like he took it to a couple like places. And he's like, they're like, okay, drop it. He took it to like a like a gear, like a drive line specialist, differential place. They're like, yeah, we can't work on this. Why? Like we don't have the software because it's like replace this. You got
not just the hardware.
Yeah, it's like you got to reflash this and you got to do this and blah blah blah.
This is a whole system.
So he took it to like 2 or 3 different places, and they're like, nope, sorry, you got to go to the dealer. And then he went to the dealer, and they were like, oh yeah, it's gonna be like $15,000. But they said like it needed some other stuff too. It's like, oh, you need this.
You can't just replace
right. And he got so pissed off. He's like, I'll never buy a fucking Stellantis product again.
Damn, what'd he do?
He ended up just selling it for like $8,000 to some guy that I guess fixed it. Like I don't know how this guy was able to repair it without needing all this stuff.
Some guy who
repaired
it
himself.
Yeah, I guess because he had it for sale. A few months
some guy
later,
who knows how to jailbreak.
Maybe he like works at the dealer. And
he has the secret keys.
I mean, like my dad was like, fine, like more power to you.
Because how much did you buy it for?
I think I bought it for like 19.
Okay,
and like I drove it for a little bit. Then he had it for 2 years.
What would it have been worth if it was not if that problem had
probably only like 15, 14.
So that's not a bad $8,000.
Got
is still
half
decent.
Yeah, so I mean, like it was bad, but he didn't destroy him. He was just pissed off. But,
so that guy replaced the transfer case.
I'm
there
assuming,
actually was a hardware.
I don't know. Yeah, I assume
60,000 or 70.
Well, he said, like you could hear
crazy.
You could hear a mechanical failure.
Yeah, you could hear like
something was wrong.
Right. It wasn't just a software thing, but
something's not.
And good. I don't know if. I mean, he flat toes it behind his RV, so I don't know if that had anything to do with it. You know, like he went to put it into pure neutral, and
but my point is like that's going to be increasing the where it's like I can't.
And that's a new car.
It's like I can't.
It's not even old.
Like I can't work on this. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna like the idea. I just pay your buddy. He'll like you can fix it over the weekend. Yeah, like that's
that's gonna be
case of beer. Yeah.
Which I have to say,
or even just like I know a good mechanic like Jerry. He's good at working on cars. He'll take it. It's like, no, I don't have the like tools like the OBD9 diagnostic reflat. It's like it's just going to get more complex on the tech side.
I don't know if maybe there is part of that will happen. But I replaced the shocks on that 3.
Yeah, but those are like very simple on those, right?
The car is very simple to work on, and all their manuals are online.
Oh yeah!
If you just Google like Model 3 shock replacement, the top result will be from Tesla's website.
Yeah,
like here it is, step by step with whatever. And it's just like put the factory.
When I got my coilovers, I took it to a shop, but even then they did it in like an hour.
Yeah, it's just very
it's
just like suspension.
It's like a '90s Honda kind of.
Yeah, it kind of is, and even the drive unit, which supposedly, I'm sure I've heard of people having them changed by Tesla because it'll come up with an error, or they'll be like, oh, it was whining. I don't really know what the failure mode is.
Right.
Like it's not like it threw a rod. Like I don't know if they blow up, but you just like drop it out of the cradle. Those cars to me kind of seem like they're just going to be like roaches.
Yeah. Like at least like the parts, like if something needs to be replaced, it'll be like very easy and very
and the parts are
very clear, like
cheap. Like I was looking on eBay for like what does a headlight cost for this, and so I was like, damn, all this.
Yes, it's like $1 billion.
And every 3 and Y shares a bunch of stuff. It's like, wow, this is actually like pretty approachable. But maybe there's going to be a point where it's like, oh, the computer or something.
Yeah, but I mean, by that point, like you'll have had the car for 20-something years, anyways.
Yeah, I just think longevity wise, it's like much less threatening than I expected. But
But that's like literally like the opposite of John's Jeep.
Yeah.
Like the Model 3 has like a motor or 2 motors and a battery.
Yeah.
John's Jeep has 2 motors?
Well, I mean, technically 3 motors.
3 motors.
It's 2 cars in one.
Yeah,
it really is.
It's like 2 motors, a battery, a turbocharger.
On top of like just like all this regular tech stuff that could fail.
The scary part too with
like a digital rear view camera.
Yeah, 2 differentials.
Transfer case. It's like not only is it both EV sort of and gas.
Yeah, it's like a complicated.
Mixed.
Yeah, it's a complicated.
They're in each other.
Complicated gas 4x4 vehicle with a bunch of EV tech on top of it.
In it,
high voltage stuff.
In it though. It's like, it's not like the back is electric. It's like
it all has to work together.
I guess did I ever mention? I'm sure I did. Like during the whole sway bar issue, the very first one. Remember they just completely replaced the transmission.
No. Oh, I kind of remember you talking.
Yeah, like it was like while they were like working on the car, the tech was like
there's like a leak.
There was like a leak. Yeah, it was like a fluid leak.
This is actually like a
and he was like, hey, there's like a fluid leak, and so they just reached out to like whatever the Jeep tech
change it,
and they were just like change the whole transmission, which I'm sure is like $15,000 probably, because again it's a ZF transmission custom with an electric motor inside of it.
The cost of them is like $1,200. Oh, we don't get
That's probably why they're fucking going bankrupt.
Yeah, I mean, you hear about that stuff, and it's hard to. It's not hard to understand.
Yeah.
How is this company failing? Yeah, I don't know. Cars. What's interesting is I don't know if other industries are like this. Every step of the way, the user base, at least some component of it, has just been like, no, these are getting worse every year. Like, and it's easy to kind of look at that and go like, shut up.
Right.
Like, yeah, we get it. Mm-hmm. And there are people that take it too far. Like, I don't want any screens in my car, but a solid chunk.
Honestly, actually, one of the, if I can rip on that side for a minute, like people always say like, imagine you could just have like a cheap car with no backup camera.
I know.
It's it's like a backup camera is like $20 probably.
Yeah.
Like it's like and it's like probably one of like the most convenient.
Yeah.
Like
it's probably saved like so many like parking lot accidents.
It's like of all the things to not want a new car, like that's one thing like I could not go back to not having.
Like a coworker when like his kid turned 16, he bought like an older Acura. I forgot what it is, whatever. And so like it has like, the backup camera and like all of the beeping and the booping. And he was like, dude, it's like so fucking perfect. Like, because he's a fucking 16-year-old. He doesn't pay attention when he's parking and shit like that.
Yeah.
It's like I admit like some of the stuff is like ridiculous.
Convenient. Yeah.
And like I wouldn't want to, but like I want a car with no backup camera. It's like, how expensive do you think it is to add a backup camera to a car?
Yeah, it's just kind of the assumption. All these gizmos. And I don't think any of these gizmos are that expensive. When people are like,
I don't know about like all the radar cameras. And
I just don't think those sensors.
That stuff I don't really use,
but when people are like, these bumper, have you seen the front bumper of a modern car? Like, no kidding, they're so expensive. It's like, I don't think they're that.
Yeah, well, I think it's more.
I
think it's more just like a fender bender can go from like $1,500 to like $5,000. Like,
because it hits like 20 different systems or something. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
that's why I suppose car insurance is just like skyrocketing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just maybe what I'm seeing is like, is this really sort of the downfall of like
cars?
Because it was like, they're heading in a direction that was already bad,
right?
And then they pivoted to a direction that was even worse,
and more expensive.
But it's not like they were in a good place. Like they've sort of been heading toward this the whole time. And now where do they go? Mm-hmm. Back to what was already bad and like failing or further?
Yeah. Now, I swear to God that the minute a car company could figure out a way to like actually like bring back a car.
What do you mean? Like a new?
Just imagine like if Nissan was somehow like we fucking remade the S15. You know what I'm like? Just like if
some loophole.
We got the old molds.
Like obviously, like it wouldn't be like exactly the same. Just like we did everything we could to build this like as close. Like
it's the old favorite.
It's like we did everything we could to like make this car.
But what do you think you'd pay for that? I guess that's the question.
Know. Well, I'm sure a shitload of people would go pay $35,000 for a brand new.
At the same power level though, like would you buy an S15?
I mean, a GR86 is $30,000.
Oh, I guess that's true, but that still has 240 horsepower or something.
Yeah, but I mean, every car has 240 horsepower.
But don't you think a GR86 is close enough to what you're saying?
Pretty close, but that's part of the reason everyone likes it, I guess, or a Miata.
Yeah. So just more people should do that.
Yeah, I mean, I just mean like imagine if a company could like actually like give in to like we need to go back to the old days, like bring it back, like whatever.
Yeah.
Like even if it's not like 100%, if they're making like a very clear effort, like
but the GR86 is that, right? I mean, would you agree that's sort of what you're describing?
Yeah, I guess that's still like, but I mean, it doesn't necessarily need to be for such a niche car.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like what is preventing companies from looking at what everyone is clamoring about,
right?
And
no.
the values of the things that are like exploding, and just tapping into that.
Right.
I feel like Toyota tries to do that.
Yeah.
Is it really just? There must be. I'm not that familiar with the emissions regulations and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I don't actually know why manufacturers transition to like turbos and hybrids.
Right.
It must be that they actually put out.
Well, part of the thing is a big thing is like, you know, like I was telling you, like people just have kind of like a down view of like all the new Toyota trucks because like they're all turbos. People just like I wouldn't buy the new Tacoma. It's junk. Like
right.
I miss my V6.
Right.
It's
even though that V6 was
that's something like that. It was
god awful.
So yeah, I don't know like how much of that is just like kind of dumb opinion.
Internet talk. Yeah.
Well, the Tundra,
those ones like actually had problems.
Legitimately had problems, right? Yeah. But does the Tacoma?
I'm not sure. I don't know if those have really been around. I mean, it's a totally different motor, but it's still like turbo.
Yeah,
it's still very different from what it replaced.
I was looking for reviews of the new 4Runner, which apparently don't exist yet.
Because it's not.
I thought it was out.
It got delayed.
Yeah, apparently it's not. It's delayed. Mm-hmm. And I didn't realize the 2024 4Runner is still the old one.
Right.
Mm-hmm. They still make
it's still like the 2010.
Yeah, it's still the 2010 4Runner.
Yeah.
And so I clicked on a video which started in the interior.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh, this must be the new one.
The new one, yeah.
You probably did that on purpose.
Yeah, no, it's like
I'm hearing the new 4Runner, everyone.
This is the new.
This is the latest 4Runner that you can buy.
And so before I had realized the new one was delayed, I was like watching this video, and he starts it up, and I'm like, damn, they really kept that old startup sound, because they really have a very distinct like FedEx truck startup sound.
Yeah.
And like he was kind of like poking around, and I was like, this actually kind of sucks for like.
This doesn't seem very new.
Yeah, I was like, this kind of doesn't seem very new. And I was like, oh, like quickly, it's like I figured out what was going on.
Right.
But then I was like, let me just see if maybe the 24. Like, am I being too critical
of the old one?
Yeah. And like, let me just skip ahead in the video. And he's like driving it around with that fucking old ass transmission. But they're selling still. I'm sure you can't get a 4Runner, a 2024 4Runner without a markup.
No, well,
unless it's like a limited.
Yeah, well, they're definitely not like. It's not like, well, we can't get.
They're not discounted.
Yeah, it's like, well, the new one's coming. We got to clear out this old stock.
So whether it's good or not, people just really love simple, dead reliable stuff.
But and I think it's all part of it is also like there's kind of there's like a trend overall where it's like you want to look kind of like simpler than you are. You know what I mean? I'm just a
buy it for life kind of guy.
Just a chill guy. Like I grew up in a middle class family.
Just me and my cast iron pan. Just a simple.
Where it's like just a Toyota, just a simple rugged,
just my dog
4Runner with me and my dog. And,
just boots.
Yeah, I don't need a fancy backup camera.
Yeah, I'm just an easygoing guy. No turbo chargers.
Yeah,
I don't know. With that said, I feel like the 4Runner's gonna, unless it's unrable, it's gonna continue to just fucking sell.
Well, I'm sure. I mean,
sliced bread.
Yeah, it'll have a. I mean, I don't know how. I'm sure it'll go up a little bit in price. But
have they confirmed the drivetrain? It's going to be the same hybrid.
It's the same as a Tacoma, I think. Like the base ones are just turbo, and the fancier ones are hybrid. I think.
Are they all 4-cylinder?
Yeah.
God, I don't know anything about anything anymore.
I think it's a 2.4.
4-popper. It's the way to go. Four cylinders are the future, bro.
4-popper. I feel so smug driving my EV now.
I know.
Don't deal with cylinders.
Yeah, you have to a gas car pushing you around.
Yeah.
The best place for those is in traffic. I feel like that's kind of I feel like that's like probably one of the strongest differences because you don't have to switch back and forth gas and brake.
Right.
It's just kind of like, it's really easy.
Yeah.
And you get like 1 billion miles per gallon.
Yeah.
Like it's very efficient at that. That was kind of everything I noticed.
It's the opposite of a traditional car.
Yeah, that seems to be the part that I like the most. Is just sitting in traffic is way easier.
Yeah.
But Yeah, I still really like that car. It rode way too harsh, and the early ones are very noisy.
Oh yeah, ours was pretty noisy too. Just like a lot of like little rattles.
Yeah, I think 2021 they changed to like dual pane glass, and then the new ones are supposed to be like
a lot better.
I saw a driven one, but I don't know. I still encourage people to just fucking go drive one. Mm-hmm. Apparently, they will just give you, if you go test drive a Tesla, you want to be like, I'm interested in like the Model 3 Performance. They'll just let you take it for like a half hour.
Yeah.
Like they don't give a shit.
Yeah. Like, well, Tommy's going to go with you. And he's going to.
Yeah. They don't do any of this. Just like, oh, yeah, go ahead.
Right.
And so, like, truly, if you have not driven one yet, just go
drive one of Elon's.
Yeah. Just go drive around on Elon's buck. What are we at? Are we close enough?
Yeah, I think so.
There's one more thing I want to make fun of that I didn't get to.
Sure.
Just on the way driving down here. And I think we've talked about it before, but it just constantly pisses me off is people getting on the freeway so fucking slow.
Yeah.
Like 3-hour drive. I never saw one person appropriately pace traffic.
Right.
It's always just, and it's like, step on it.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? People are like,
it's like you're gonna eventually go like 65 anyway. So why don't you just fucking do it now?
I think
get there.
I think they're just afraid to push the car. I don't know, but it was like, why do we have signs that show you your speed?
Right.
You know, those ones that are like 45 mile an hour speed limit. It'll be like 47 and it's flashing. So it's like, slow down.
Yeah.
It's like, why don't those exist in the opposite? Or it's like, speed limit 65, your speed 45.
Yeah, get your ass.
Speed up. Yeah. Like dangerous conditions. You have like semi trucks getting out of the way.
Have to move over.
While some forester is going like 40. This is how fast I would get on the
conservative driver.
Gas is expensive.
It was.
It's going back to Garrett's Insight story. There's just
you got to preserve that.
Got to preserve.
Yeah.
Preserve those MPGs.
Yeah.
We covered a lot. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, happy holidays.
Yeah.
Apologies for the delay.
We'll be back again very soon.
Sure. Tomorrow. Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed and had a good year.
See you next holidays.
Yeah. Take care and see you next time.
Later.
See ya.
Never got to bleh.
I don't even know what that was.
Oh, it's just kind of like, it's just kind of funny. Anything trying it and just being like, ugh. Just that reaction is just kind of funny in general. Like, ugh, it's gross.